So Clinton, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your life before your cancer journey started.
My name's Clinton Payne. I'm 54 years old. I'm a journalist. I'm a sports journalist. I actually specifically work in horse racing. So I've been a very sporty person throughout my life. Played soccer, or football as I call it, and cricket throughout my life. Golf, anything. I'm a sports nut, basically.
If you could just describe for us how you first discovered that you had cancer.
I was away. I was down at our holiday house down at Brewer Lake, just south of Ulladulla, on the New South Wales south coast. And I remember going down there in January, as we always do every year. And I was quite uncomfortable around my chest area, my ribs. And as the month went on, my left hip just got sorer and sorer and sorer, to the point where I could be sitting down, and to get up to start walking, it would take 5 or 6 strides to be able to move, basically, without... I still had discomfort, but comfortable enough to be able to move. I just wasn't feeling well, and being a boy, not fond of doctors, I probably left it longer than I should, and eventually it got to the point where I needed to do something about it. And I remember I coughed up a small blood clot on a Sunday morning. I'll never forget it. Went down to Sutherland Hospital, and that was it. It all started from there. But
what were you told at the time? What type of cancer?
Small cell lung cancer that had metastasised into the bone, and it was pretty much right through my body. I remember looking at a PET scan and I looked like a Christmas tree. So, that's where we're at.
Right. And you mentioned that you had radiotherapy for your left, wasn't it?
It was my left hip, yeah.
Left hip. Can you tell me a bit more about the pain that you were having and then the treatment itself?
The pain was... It was uncomfortable to walk. Every stride I took, I felt my left hip, and so obviously I saw Dr. Dunlop and then yourself, and I think I had 10 rounds of treatment. Would that be right? Yep, 10 rounds of treatment, and it was pretty straightforward. It was just go to St George and lie there for about half an hour, half the time fall asleep, and then that was it, and within 3 months it was improving.
Yep.
So.
And that was over 3 years ago now. Do you have any pain left in that hip today?
No pain, none at all. Walk as normal, run, everything's back to normal.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep.
And since you got diagnosed, you've had various forms of treatment. Can you give us a quick summary of the types of treatment that you've had?
Yep, so initially I had chemotherapy, and I've been on immunotherapy ongoing since the day it was discovered. So I've had 2 lots of chemo, because we did have a tumour start to grow on my chest again. I think it was about, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would have been about 12 months to 18 months after the initial diagnosis. So we hit it again with chemo, but the immuno's been ongoing the whole time, and I've had 3 visits to yourself and 3 different rounds of radiotherapy.
Yep.
Left hip was the first one. Second time was, I'm pretty sure it was a Sabre, was it not? Yes. And that was to the apex of my right lung. And the third time was to my adrenal gland and kidneys.
So as you know, you've had Sabre, which is sometimes called SBRT, and that's a new, very sophisticated, targeted form of radiotherapy. And you've had that, as you said, to your lung and to your kidney. Do you mind just describing what it's like to have a Sabre treatment?
To be honest, for me, it wasn't really any different to the other form of treatment I had. It's just a case of going there to the hospital, lying down, don't move, which I get told quite a bit, don't move. And basically within half an hour to 40 minutes, it's all over. and you don't feel anything. I had no side effects from the treatment.
Did you get on with life as usual when you were having those treatments?
I had my treatment because I like to be first cab off the rank. Most of the time it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I was first in, and I'd basically go home and start work. Nothing changed. I didn't miss a beat. I did not miss a day at work from it.
And you drove yourself to and from the hospital?
Drove myself to and from the hospital, yep, as per normal.
All right. And what's been the result of those treatments?
Everything's inactive at the moment. There's no active cancer in my body, so long may it continue.
That last PET scan looked excellent.
Yes, yep. It was a nice phone call to receive from you.
Lots of people don't get access to Sabre because they don't get referred to a radiation oncologist. And in fact, lots of people don't get access to radiotherapy at all, as I know I've talked to you about before. What would you say to anybody out there who is living with cancer or has a loved one with cancer about radiation therapy?
Make the inquiries and get onto it. I can't speak highly enough of it. I'm living proof. I've had 3 bouts of it. Yeah, just go for it. It's a non-invasive process. The machine doesn't touch you. It just basically goes around you. So you just lie there and watch the machine. Occasionally it's up above your head and then it'll disappear underneath you. And yeah, it's a very simple process.